Hey, this is Terry Bean. Welcome to another exciting episode of Business Growth Time. As always, I'm here with the incomparable, the awesome, and the one and only Janet E. Johnson. Janet, what does that E stand for? We all really want to know.
Well, I don't know if we've had that discussion. It's actually just Elizabeth, but
It's just a, no, that's not it
but
anymore.
the main reason for it is just so that I can actually get found online.
Are there
It,
other Janet Johnsons? Is that what you're telling us
there
on the
are
web?
a ton of Janet Johnsons. There's actually a lawyer that's a Janet E. Johnson also, so she's up there with me. There's a lot of stuff with her also. So there is another Janet E. Johnson even, but that it just helps narrow it down because it's too common of a name.
It is
But
common.
my friend Ralph, I just have to say, he joked that it was erotica. I don't know. I
I
said
don't think he joked. I think he was probably serious. Just saying. Hey, so interesting. So it sounds like you Google yourself every now and again. How often would you say you Google yourself?
I check on it not that often. I mean, probably once a month, just to make sure.
Okay.
LinkedIn is definitely something that pops up always. I don't know if yours does too, but LinkedIn
Does.
is a top result, and then of course the website. And then, I haven't looked at it recently, so it'd be interesting to see. But it's pretty much the main front page, other than the lawyer. So,
Okay.
and how is yours? Other than you have some sort of
I had a
bad
thing.
person.
I had a thing. Yeah. I like to Google myself frequently because it just sounds like fun. But recently there was a gentleman, and I've got Terry Bean set up as a Google alert. I'm sure you have Janet E. Johnson set up as a Google alert. Every
Mhm.
time something happens with my name, I get it. It's not always me, of course. But last October, November sometime, there was a big Obama bundler guy that raised a lot of money for the Democratic National Party and out of Portland, Oregon, who was also in the, let's just say he was promoting the homosexual lifestyle because I think he's probably gay and he's very pro-gay and that's really awesome and certainly he does what he wants to do. Yay. So those two things kind of came to a head because he's a Obama friendly and evidently he got in trouble, and I don't know what the court case is, got in trouble for raping a 15-year-old boy. So there's a lot of news on Terry Bean that is about raping a 15-year-old boy. And, on the off chance
Oh,
we're not
I'm
clear,
okay with the lawyer now. Now that you tell me.
not this Terry Bean. I haven't really raped, anybody because I don't think that's a nice thing to do. So try and stay away from that. And I'm not saying this Terry Bean is not that Terry Bean did it. I don't know. I'm saying this is what he was accused of. But I had 6 or 7 spots on page one, my LinkedIn being up there certainly, and I'm probably down to like 2 or 3 now. It's really messing up my SEO. So
Well,
didn't
the
see that coming.
news, yeah, news does overtake it. I have a friend, Brian Horn. I know he was talking about somebody had killed somebody or something like that. It was another Brian Horn. So, I mean, if you happen to have a name that is in the news, you definitely will lose your SEO power. That's for sure.
You right, because it's all about fresh content. So I'm going to have to create new content that doesn't involve raping people and things about Detroit and
Well, we'll try to
social.
optimize a couple videos so that we can get those videos. Because videos, I mean, these are lessons. These are great lessons. So, obviously we're talking about the front page of Google, optimizing yourself to be on that front page of Google. But another way to do that is through these Hangouts, because Hangouts have a lot of power in SEO, and video has a ton of power. And you combine those two, you can really, it's probably one of the easiest ways to get on the front page of Google.
Are
So,
you saying that a Google product like a Hangout or a YouTube video increases your SEO bandwidth and power through Google? What?
absolutely, exactly. Yeah, go figure. Go figure.
That's the kind of stuff people pay big money for right here. They say, hey, we're just giving it away here at Business Growth Time. Very, very exciting.
So,
So
yeah, yeah.
our topic for today is the idea of how do we engage with our audience? Because obviously they're not on the Hangout with us. So we're going to talk about making a Facebook group or page or group or
Yeah,
page or
yeah.
group, I think.
Or
So
profile, or what is it? Yeah, exactly.
So we decided group, right?
Yep. And this is different for us.
So
I mean, I know you've been part of some groups and admin. You've been an admin of groups too?
I admin some groups still, sure.
Yeah, and I do too. I mean, I'm just not very active with the ones that I started. And then, because we didn't get it robust like some that I'm actually part of. I'm part of the one social media mastermind group with Hugh Briss, and that one's very, very active. I mean, anything social media, just boom, we know, and we, he's always on top of things, so it's a great group to be in. And this one is a paid group. That's actually a paid group. So that one
I didn't know you could pay for groups on Facebook. That's interesting. Do you pay through Facebook or externally?
Externally through PayPal. It's just a PayPal. Yep. So it's he has a very small fee for it. I believe it's $9.95 and a month. So it's a cool way to do private groups. Now it's interesting because we're such a community in there that we do talk about others. Sometimes good, sometimes bad.
It's a little bitty's gossip group.
I mean, I don't get in on it too much, but it is kind of, we pick apart the wrong things out there. Let's put it that way, and we promote the things that are going right out there in the social media world. So it's really, yeah, it's really cool. I feel bad once in a while for the people. I'm like, I'm glad I'm part of this group, so it's not me.
You've made it big when your little group is talking crap about people. That's the goal.
But it's all, it's when people are doing really stupid things. Like, let's say, or a page. Let's just use an example. A business page is running just a crappy contest. They're breaking all the Facebook rules. It's just, not right. And so that's the type of thing that we will pick apart and go, all right, they should have done this, they should have done that. So that's the type of thing that it typically gets picked on, just because there's a lot of people out there just throwing they don't have a clue what they're doing, and they're not following any of the guidelines. And it happens, and a lot of them get away with it. So just kind of the way of the Facebook land at this point, or even social media land. Some won't. You know what, though? In the end, pages can be shut down like that. Ad accounts can be shut down like that. So we just try to abide by the rules.
Well, isn't that kind of a moving target? Don't they change with some level of frequency?
Daily.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
so
daily.
How do you stay current on what that is?
You hire somebody like me, or I mean that's one option. Or you just have to keep reading. One of the things we talked about that I was just on a podcast about was Facebook ads, and Facebook ads are awesome. They are the most highly targeted type of advertising that you can do. You can get it down to I just did an ad campaign that was 3 cents a click. It's amazing, but I also got a lot of denials recently because my ad text was over 20%. Can't be so an image. Actually, even the one of our last show that you and I did, and I did a little video, and it was a 2-slide video. It kind of looked like a picture, but it moved. I thought that was kind of cool. That was kind of a cool way to use a video, but it was actually looked like a picture. And that one got denied because it went over 20% text. Well, I didn't realize that video they made that rule for too.
That seems harder to manage.
It kind of is. Well, good thing I have a graphic designer that I ask him, I say, make sure you follow that 20%. I didn't know I was going to promote that one. I just decided, hey, let's throw it, a little promotion on it and spend $5, $10. And so it's very inexpensive to just go out there and promote a little bit. But you got to follow that guideline. So
that's all right. That's cool. So I want to talk about promotion too, but let's focus on this group right now. And we can talk about how we might use sponsored ads or promotional tools inside of Facebook to grow it. But what's the concept? What's the purpose? Why do people care, right? What's our social media mission statement for this group?
Business growth time, our goal with this is so that, we want to be able to make sure that the people that are listening, you as a listener, have a place to go to be able to connect with the people you've listened to. You can connect with us. You can connect with, Daphna. We just did a great show with her. We want the guests on our show to be part of this group and interacting. We want to be able to have the listeners on the show or watchers on the show be able to have a place to go to connect so that they know how, they might have listened to a show and maybe they just go, I still have this aching question, but it's not for Terry and Janet, it's for Daphna. So how, could they reach out to her on Twitter? Could they reach out to her somewhere else? Sure. But if we can do it within this group, then we can all learn from each other. Because your question might be the same as somebody else's question. Or maybe it's a question that I think is fantastic, but I didn't even think of. So I think that's kind of what the group is for. As for the mission statement, well, let's talk about that. What are your thoughts on the actual mission statement of business growth time? I mean, it kind of says it all, but we want to narrow that down a little bit into niching it a little bit. So what's your thoughts there?
Well, that's an interesting question. I think, first and foremost, when it hit on the last question, basically we're just going to try and continue the conversation, right? That's what we're going to use the Facebook group for, is continuing the conversation whichever direction the audience would like it to go. And I think that's pretty cool. As far as the mission of Business Growth Time, for me, I want to give out tools, tips, tricks, knowledge, insight, connections, and opportunities that are going to help our audience grow their business. And you know what? Honestly, at times, we're part of the audience too. We just got done interviewing somebody the other day, Ravi, and I spent a lot of time sitting there watching, listening, and learning from him. So I was an audience member for a period of that broadcast. And as were you, and as was he at certain times, right? Because that's how the rotation works. So that's, to my way of thinking, what we're trying to do is empower business owners to grow their business through a myriad of different ideas and thoughts and tips and the like.
You got it. Because, you're the networker. I'm more social media. Ravi, he deals with customer service. Well, these are all pieces of a business that will help grow it. So we want to make sure that they can come to us and feel comfortable. We want this group to be comfortable, and we'll be nice. We're not going to be, after I just talked about that other
Right, yeah. This isn't going to be a group where we bitch about other people.
Most of it, I have to be honest. I'm not a person.
This is not your gossip channel.
Exactly. No, but if you see something out there that you question, I think and you feel like we might have the answers. Maybe you went to a networking event recently, I guess I can speak, an event recently, and Terry is the networker, and you feel like, I'm questioning how they ran that group, or I'm questioning how this went, or I'm questioning what should I say at the next meeting that I go to. You can come here, ask Terry, or just ask the group outright, because you could get a myriad of answers. I mean, it doesn't have to come from myself or Terry. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense, and I think that's a really good way to use it. It's almost like people that are there and interested in your success, that are hoping to help you achieve it and give you ways to get there faster. But we talk about it in Motor City Connect all the time, man. Networking has to start with some level of ask. You have to state what it is that you're looking for. Otherwise, we can't help you if we don't know how to help you. So I'm a big proponent of people, forgetting all that they were taught. This is a big world. You do not have to go it alone. In fact, you're not going to be as successful if you do. So enroll other people to what you're trying to do, and the easiest way to do that is to let them know what you need them to do. And so that's why the ask is so important to me.
You're right. And the other piece of this that I think I'd like to send out to people is you can email us or message us through Facebook or whatever. And if you feel like you have a product or a book or something coming out, we'd love to feature you too. So, you know, we obviously have to screen it and that kind of thing. We can't say yes to everything because if it doesn't fit, you know, that doesn't make sense. But we definitely might not, our audience could become a guest. So I want to make sure that that's open to them too, because, you know, so many people can teach so many different things. And Terry and I know a lot of people, you know, that we can have on the show, but maybe there's somebody that we don't even know that can reach out to us too. So I want to invite that also, so we can, you know, find more people and learn new things. Because Terry and I love learning. I mean, that's the one thing I love. Whenever I do a show, I learn something myself.
That's the best part. It really is. And you're connecting with cool people and hearing interesting things. But yeah, you can take something that you hear from these shows and hopefully it's immediately actionable where you can be like, okay, I'm done with that, now I'm going to do what I just learned and make it work. Love that stuff.
Exactly.
Love it.
So,
cool.
Yeah. And
so
then,
let's
go ahead.
So we were talking earlier that, you know, to have a custom URL on Facebook for a group, I think you have to have 25 members, right? So, I mean, we should be able to, you know, have 25 members. I think we'll get there. We could probably do that today. But then, how do you continue to grow the group? What do you do? In fact, Ravi had a suggestion about maybe making the group private. Ravi in episode 48, we're in episode 49. I forgot to do that at the top of the show. I'm good. He said, you know, make the group private because people want to feel like they're in some sort of unique club. What do we think about that?
It could go either way. You know, it's something that we are open right now. And so if you're listening to this right now, I suggest going to Facebook and search Business Growth Time. You will see the group and just invite to the group. I believe he said if it's open, it will, if they ask to be in, they will be automatic. And one of the things that we want to make sure we're not getting a lot of, so we may change that to private. It is open right now, but it's something that I'd like to hear, you know, feedback of. But it is open. But I do prefer private groups, so I think it will probably move to a private because we want people that know the show and understand it to be part of this group. So we, you know, so we kind of need to watch over that. I think the majority of the groups that I feel safe in and feel like I can talk about things are the private groups. So, but the reason we're doing this, I just do want to explain over a Facebook page. I don't know how many Facebook pages I've helped with, managed, run, do myself, but a lot of times you come up with all this content and it's kind of about advertising. I want it to be more of a, and it's not, I mean, you want your page to be a community, but it just seems like it has a different feel than a Facebook group. And we really, really want this to be not where we're just talking about us. We want it to be a community where you can reach out and talk about you, and we can learn about you too.
Oh, I like that idea. So maybe, you know, I forget what show, I think it was 48, we were talking about what we call all the audience. Are they partners? Are they just people we know? Random folks dropping in and out of the sky? You know, we got to have some cool name for them. And I like community, I do, but it's really kind of dry. So do we have a non-dry name for community, or do we need to think about that one?
We might need to. You know, I love Ralph. I love his. They have. They call their community Fred.
Fred, I like that. Fred.
How about we call ours Wilma?
Nice. That's good. It brings out our feminine side. I like that too. You know, I'm looking at the word growth. And I like Growers. I think Growers is a really fun name. And then, of course, I can't go too long without making a dick joke as a rule. So I was like, there's Showers and Growers.
Yes.
Showers and Growers is fun, too. And we could just call them SAG for short. So.
Oh, God.
maybe
Oh, boy.
What's up,
I,
Sag? Yeah, it just rings off the tongue, you know. No, maybe
that's
we'll
good.
we'll, we'll keep working on what we might call your
Yeah,
community.
but I do kind of like the growers. I mean, that's a thought. That is a thought. And then once we have it, we will add the hashtag, and then I think that's a lot of how they. I know Ralph and those guys are doing a great job with their podcast show, and we're looking to have them on real soon here. They do Fredster Nation or Fred Nation. I don't even know, and then everything has the hashtag on it, and it always is talking about Fred. And
Nice.
obviously, you've got to meet this guy because you'll get his sense of humor, Terry.
Well, he's the one that came up with what the E stands for that we talked about at the very top of the show. So yeah,
He is the one that actually brought a puppet, and he became a puppet on the show.
Kimmy, meet your match.
So yes, we miss Kimmy. I'm gonna have to pull her out soon again, but she's collecting dust at this point.
Oh dear. How's your son's show doing? He's got. We're gonna have her join Joel and do some work, but
Yes, and then my son decided that it was not a fit for his show. So yeah, Kimmy kind of she got fired again.
poor Kimmy, man, she was having a rough couple of months, man.
Yeah,
She's like 2015 is gonna be my year, and then turns out not so much.
but I will give a shout out to TNT Joel because TNT Joel we have a clothing now, so you can even get TNT Joel t-shirts, and he does a show every week, and he's pretty good. I have to say, he talks right to the camera. I think he's watched so many YouTube videos that he knows exactly what to say. We had to work on him saying, no, like and subscribe, because he kept saying like and subscribe. I don't know, he wasn't saying it, and so we had to kind of work on that. But it's doing good, and it's a fun show for people that have sons between maybe the ages, and girls too. He has these girl fans that draw drawings and everything. So between the ages of 8 and probably 13, 14, because I'm gonna be learning Minecraft. So one of the next things we're going to be doing, I've never played the game, but he wants to teach me, so we're going to be doing it, from scratch. I'm going to be learning Minecraft. So the mom learning Minecraft is going to be some of the fun videos we're going to be doing.
I like it. Mom learns Minecraft. That's awesome. That's very, very cool.
So we have fun with it. It's just kind of a fun little thing, and he's one of the coolest kids at school now. So
that's awesome. Is he getting good views and everything's working?
We are. It's just we're on show number. He's done like 6 videos. He got taken down with an illness last week. He missed a whole week of school, so we got a little kind of behind. But I'm trying to just do a show a week. I'm not. You got to have time for it and that kind of thing. But it gives him a different focus than just watching. He sure knows those YouTubers. I mean, that's a whole nother show we should do just about these kids and how much they watch this stuff. And YouTubers and that whole world is absolutely growing. It's crazy. So,
cool.
Yeah, so we could definitely do a show on YouTube. So let's get back to Facebook. Facebook, make sure you join our group. It is Business Growth Time. When you join, say hello. We'd love to have you. And, any content that you are looking to have added, throw that in there. Anything you want to discuss with us and if you have something you want to promote, you can send us a message and we will approve it, but we don't want to have a bunch of spam in there, but we'll see if, it's something that fits. We might, put it out there too. The other thing I want to mention is we are going to reach out to some of our past guests, and we are going to be giving away some books in that group specifically. So once we have a certain amount of members, Terry, what do you think we should have? Maybe the 100th member. Well, we're going to be putting in our own. So, but maybe the 100th will get a book. I have a few books here myself that are real good ones to give away. And then we'll just kind of randomly do that too. What do you think on that, Terry?
I think that's good. I think somewhere between member number 90 and 120, right? We'll just we'll be loose. you and I will know. We'll pick a number, right, just between you and I. In fact, it might be kind of fun. What if we just called that number now and didn't tell anybody? Oh, look, it's 97. Oh, sorry. And then just kind of, randomly did that. Because honestly, when this show actually comes out and people see it, hopefully, we're already there too.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course, now we have to get to work because there's really the group consists of what, you and I, right? We went and found it, and we're like, hey, wow, I know both those people.
Exactly.
It's kind of like this group right here, and now we are a group. This is the live version of our Facebook group.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely, we will grow this. We are on show number 49. Exciting. We will be show 50. But Terry and I together are on approximately show like 7 we were talking about. So, Terry's in our world have just come together, and so we're trying to totally revamp. Everything's going to be revamped and taken up a notch. We want to do these shows live, so we will be mentioning it in the Facebook group so that you will be able to know when they're going live. So we may pre-record for two weeks in advance, but we'll post the link. Now I'm putting pressure on me. We'll post that link in this group for the live so that if this is something you really want to catch then, you can watch it live before it even goes out a couple weeks later. I put a lot of pressure on myself there, didn't I, Terry?
You did. You just basically walked right into that. I liked how you called me out on the last show. You're like, you don't even know how to run a Google Hangout. Look, yeah, that's a good point. That's awesome. Maybe one of these shows will be how to set up a Google Hangout. Back to me being an audience member. That'll be fun.
We definitely could do that. We definitely. I think it's a use. I am a huge proponent of using these because of that. Back to that SEO power. Yeah. So, and if people are scared of using video, you know what? I just don't invite anybody, and I record a video. I've done tons and tons of them every single week. And I just record a video, and I'll go cut off the beginning because it has this big hangout thing. But you can edit it right in YouTube, leave it there, and then do optimization with keywords, and there you go. You've got a video.
How tough is it to put a music buffer at the front and exit? Intro and outros, or?
Oh, not tough at all. That's now, you can add that into just right on YouTube, so you don't even have to pull it out.
Nice.
Anymore. So yeah, I mean, you used to have to download that MP4, then re-upload in, put all that, edit it, and then put it in. Now, granted, like we were talking about, another big tip, you do want to have your videos separately on Facebook. And Facebook made a bunch of announcements yesterday on how they are ramping it up against YouTube. So we'll see. We'll see how that all goes. But it is suggested to put the live video on Facebook instead of using your YouTube. Don't be putting the YouTube link. Just don't do it anymore. There you go.
Right, because the reach is so much greater when you load it up to Facebook. You shared that with me a few weeks ago, right before the event in Detroit, and I was like, well, Janet said to do it this way. And I had posted videos from YouTube, and I'd get 47 views or whatever. And on this one, I had like 350. It's so much faster. I was like, wow, she wasn't lying, man. That is a legitimate and awesome tip. So good, we're all the way up to 1. I like that. I'm just kidding.
And if you do want to advertise that video on Facebook that you put, let's say you want to do a little boost and spend $5-10, it's way lower. The views are like 2-3 cents. Crazy low. So another add-on tip that, if you're using these videos. So we need to do a whole video. I mean, I could talk video all day because I know how powerful it is. So these Hangouts, we will go live. We do behind the scenes. We do need to go live. And once we are live, then you will be able to interact at that exact time when we are interviewing our guests. So we will do that and put the link to the live event in the Facebook group each time. So that way people, then when the show comes out, we will also put it there. And then, after that, obviously we're not going to be just always, we will be doing 1 show a week minimally. So that's, enough of our self-promotion in that group. And then, obviously we want interaction with what they saw and
When
how
do
they
you think
liked
we'll be
it.
going live?
No, Terry, quit
When
putting
do
the
you think
pressure
we'll be
on
going
me.
No, I'm just curious.
You know what?
No pressure.
We could do it anytime. Anytime. You know what? Let's get this group out, and in the next 2 weeks, we will have to be live. There you go.
I like it. I like it. It'll be fun. Live is good. You know how to do it now, right? The live thing. Is that true?
Yes.
You know,
Yes, Janet has made some mistakes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not, we call those learning opportunities.
Exactly. I ran one where I thought it was like an event, and all the people started popping inside of the Hangout. So there's squares across the bottom. You can have 10 at the most, and I had people inside the Hangout versus watching on the outside, having the people watching. So it worked out. We had everybody mute themselves and that kind of thing. And that's fun to do once in a while, and that might be something that we add on to the group that Terry and I just go, hey, let's just throw something out to the group, and I'll do a Hangout, see who wants to join in, and they come inside and can ask questions and participate, and we just chat. So something, I know you'd be open to, Terry. You like to wing it.
I didn't know you were supposed to do it any other way. Like, we plan these things? Come on, what fun is that? Show up, make it happen. Yay. So that's very cool. So the Facebook group, we're going to start with that. We're going to get into live video and live Hangouts, which is really, really cool. We've got some exciting speakers that we're lining up, or participants, or guests, I guess is the right word. We're thinking about calling our audience growers. I think that's kind of apropos. I like it. I like it a lot. And then for the rest of it, I think, we seem to have a decent rapport, and it's kind of fun to just sit here and chat with you,
Yes, exactly. And so that's in the future we will be doing this more. And then we just teach and learn from each other, and hope that the growers, #growers, we better check if there's a #growers already. They're probably growing something.
Right, yeah, it's all about the hemp these days. That's what all the cool kids are doing. That's really funny, #growers. Hey, so here's a question. I literally am now on my I'm on my browser, right? I'm not even looking at Google Hangout right now. Can you detect any sort of difference whatsoever?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay, so you can still see me like I am looking at the show. Oh, there's a nice picture of tomatoes right here, $2.39 a pound with the #growers.
Oh no! See, that might be we might have to do biz growers, BIZ growers or something.
Biz growers. Yeah, we'll have to own our own hashtag. Although honestly, there's not that many for as common of a term as that is, and what that could be. It's not as overly utilized as you might think it would be. Oh, we could just use growers with a Z because that's what all the cool kids are doing.
Now there's a thought. Well, we're going to post this in the Facebook group. So once we figure it out, it will be in there. And then we want everybody to throw out the hashtag with whatever it is.
Right.
So there you go.
Yeah, the hashtag. All right, very cool. Well, then I think for us, that should wrap up show number 49. And I'm looking forward to the big celebration of show 50 coming up soon.
All right.
What do you have to add? Anything you'd like to share before we go?
Nope. I just feel like, we really want to hear from you guys. So whatever we're going to call you, I'm not sure, but we really want to hear from you, and we would love you to join this Facebook group so that we can just have fun together, and the whole goal of this is grow our businesses.
Perfect. Absolutely love it. Well, until next time, I'm Terry Bean. That is Janet E. Johnson, and we'll see you really soon.
Thank you.